Are you playing Minecraft on a low-end device and you find yourself lagging all the time? Or are you playing on a good mid-range device that is capable of 120 FPS but is still nerfed to only 60? Well, don't worry, in this video we're gonna fix that. With these few tweaks, we will be able to not just reduce lag, but also set your FPS to 120, only if your device is capable of doing so. Starting with the basic and standard one, your Minecraft settings. Probably, you might already know about this one, but we will still gonna talk about it. In your Minecraft, open settings and go to video. Set your render distance to the lowest, only if your device couldn't handle the recommended settings. But for most phones like mid-range, it's best to set it to the recommended render distance. Turn off screen animations. Yes, I know it feels off, but it's for the better if your phone crashes a lot. But it depends if you wanted to turn it off. For most low-end devices, I recommend turning off all the graphic settings and set it to the lowest, or simple mode. But for mid-range devices, especially optimized ones, this is optional. I also recommend turning off dynamic FOV because this one lags the most. So what this does is that it makes your FOV stable and removes that running animation, and it feels like you're just walking. But don't worry, you'll get used to it. I also recommend turning off hide paper though, so you still have a visual indicator when sprinting. Also set your damage tilt to 0 to 25% to remove the damage animation. And lastly, go to accessibility and disable camera shake and enable the rest. Set background opacity to 0% or transparent. Glint animation to 0%, but set your glint strength to 100% if you want it. And finally, set the time duration to 3 seconds. Now we're done with the basic section, let's now move on to intermediate section. Use texture packs. Well, there are tons of texture packs that boost your FPS, but there are 3 that stands among the rest. First is Classic Texture Pack. You can find this in the marketplace, and this one simplifies your texture back to the old version, making your textures less fancy. Second is Lower Render Distance. You can download this using the link in the description below, and you can set your render distance lower than the main settings can do. And finally is Particle and Flipbook Texture Disabler. This one removes all particles in the game, making the game less laggy. And by enabling Flipbook Textures Remover, you can remove the animations on animated blocks such as fire, making it a huge boost on your FPS. And now, let's move on to the advanced section of this tutorial. Most of these settings are for Android devices, specifically Android 12 Plus. For later versions of iOS devices like iPhone 13 and above, you already have ProMotion, so you don't need all of these. So this section is all about device settings and frame pacing, specifically for Android. The frame pacing option on your video settings, which can only be found in Android, allows you to turn off VSync. But first, what is VSync? VSync stands for Virtual Synchronization. This can be found in the main files of the game, so basically Minecraft will set its FPS based on what your device can handle. For example, if your device is running at consistent 60 refresh rate, then it will also run at around 60 FPS, not 120. And by disabling this option, your game will push to more than 60 FPS, only if your device can handle more than of it. But if your FPS is below 60, we can still improve it using the first few tips I mentioned. But here's the problem when disabling VSync. You gotta remember that refresh rate does not equal to FPS. Refresh rate is how your device refreshes every second, and FPS is how many frames the game projects based on your refresh rate. So here's the problem. If your Minecraft is running at around 90 to 120 FPS, while your device is set to only 60 refresh rate, then there will be a huge mismatch between your in-game FPS and your refresh rate, creating a so-called screen tear. So screen tearing in simple terms means that your device is projecting an old frame and a new frame at the same time, making a screen glitch that looks torn. To clear things up, if your GPU sends a new frame while the monitor is mid-refresh, then it would feel like delayed, and in some cases the screen will look glitchy. So for devices that only run at 60 refresh rate, you must turn off VSync but cap your FPS to 60 on your video settings. That way, it feels more smoother than turning on VSync because it forces your GPU to run more efficient. But there are cases where mid-range devices can run 120 refresh rate but are capped to 60. When opening specific apps like YouTube, TikTok, and games like Minecraft. This is because your system manufacturer has restricted your refresh rate in specific tasks in order to preserve battery life and maintain performance. To disable this restriction, you have to go to your device settings and search for display, and activate 120Hz on specific apps. If you don't have these settings, look for peak refresh rate and turn it on. But what if you don't have all these options? All you have to do is to download SetEdit from Google Play Store and add peak refresh rate, and set the value to 1, which refers to enable. But this would only work to Android 11 and below. If you have Android 12 and above, all you have to do is to activate developer options. Go to your device profile, look for software information, build number, and tap it 7 times. In some cases like mine, it's called version number. Download Shizuku and Database Editor from Play Store or your App Store. Open Shizuku and pair it to wireless debugging on your developer settings. Also turn on Disable Permission Monitoring, since this restricted some functions when using Shizuku. Once connected, go to Database Editor and grant permission using Shizuku. Add key perimeter and name it Peak Refresh Rate, and set the value to 1. Also double check it once again because sometimes it'll automatically set to specific numbers for no reason. And to check if this works in your Minecraft, turn on Show Refresh Rate on developer options. If it is on 120Hz, congratulations! You can now play Minecraft on stable 120 FPS. Or maybe. And lastly, turn off Battery Saver. It sucks. Just turn it on if you're not playing. So after all those mechanical struggles and frustrations we've encountered for so long, all those FPS drops, lags, and those tech stuff I've said, I don't know if you're listening, we finally finished our tutorial and managed to help you in your FPS and device problems. Once again, if you want to see more of these type of tutorials, please hit that like and subscribe button and comment for any advices and help if you wanted to. So, that's it for this video guys. Jan and Lusher out.